Hey there everybody, it's Blake1Studios here, and welcome back to a brand new Minecraft Hypixel video. Now today I just want to give my 2 cents on something that's been bothering the community today. Thought I'd go ahead and talk about it a little bit. There's been a bunch of backlash over a small little change, so I thought I'd go ahead and give both sides of the story and just let you guys know what's been going on. So basically what they did is they just tweaked the game compass, and what they've done is they put in a submenu where they put a bunch of the dead games on Hypixel into this little submenu, and they're calling it the classic games section. So let me go ahead and read this forum post that Tactful posted on the Hypixel forums explaining this and their reasoning behind this, and then I'll go ahead and tell you guys about the backlash and all of that. And yeah, so I'll just go ahead and get started right off the bat here. So Tactful says this: we've had the same compass layout for years, and lately it's presented two problems. The menu was getting too cluttered with icons, and new players were clicking on the topmost icons for very complex games. So basically the icons that were at the very top. So like Cops and Crims was like second on the list if I'm not mistaken, and that one even has a resource pack. And once you start getting into resource packs and stuff, that's when, you know, things start getting a little bit glitchy for those people who play on toasters. So yeah, so in order to solve this problem, they've introduced a new compass layout that puts simpler, more popular games at the top, and they've also, to solve the clutter problem, they've combined some of the games into the classic sub-games menu. That's what I just said. So basically what they did to select these classic games is they based them off of their popularity and how accessible they are to the new players. So basically what they wanted to do is they wanted to figure out the player retention for these games. So suppose you are a new player and you join paintball. Okay, you join paintball, you play around, it's your first ever time playing on the Hypixel server, and you play just the most absolutely unbalanced round ever. You get killed a whole bunch of times because paintball is so unbalanced. Like, seriously guys, paintball is arguably the most unbalanced game on this network, and it's actually my favorite game, but I've rage quit it so many times just because it's very difficult to become good at it. It's so unbalanced, all the power-ups or whatever pretty much ruin the game. But you have two teams, one with basically a whole bunch of people with power-ups, the other just a bunch of new players, and maybe one person who's actually good at it. And what ends up happening is the team with the most power-up people always wins, and it's so frustrating because you have to hope that you get on a decent team in order to win, and in order, you know, to actually be good at this game, which is why it's not. That's why it's probably one of the most frustrating games. So what they're doing is they're taking these games that new players are trying to play, and then they just rage quit the game and never come back. They're taking those games and they're hiding them, throwing them in the corner. All these older games that people don't play as much anymore, especially Turbo Kart Racers, which probably hasn't gotten an update since it like first came out. And they're just taking all those games and just throwing them. I just don't know. So basically paintball and a bunch of these other games that have been thrown into the submenu have lost like half of their players. And I don't know how I feel about that, because normally on a Saturday here at 3:30 p.m. paintball would have over 150 players. And so people have been asking the admins, hey, can you show us the statistics? Because, you know, the admins are all like, oh, this is fine, the games, they still have the same number of players. But arguably paintball is at like 60 players right now, and it should have over 150. I get it. So we're trying to keep new players from rage quitting, because then those new players will spend more time on the server. However, at the same time, you're killing off these games slowly, these games that a lot of veteran players like to play on, because, I mean, I don't like Skywars that much, but I love paintball. I'm a veteran player. I've been playing Hypixel for at least a year. You know, we got all kinds of people who would prefer playing paintball or prefer playing vampires over these other stereotypical games that you can find on other Minecraft networks. And so here comes the thing where it's like, veteran players, if you kill off their game, guess what? You're going to kill off these veteran players too from your server, because once you start killing off your veteran players, then you start killing off your source of income on the server. Veteran players are 50 times more likely to donate than new players who have just been playing for a week. Players are going to donate if they've been playing on your server for a long time, and they enjoy it, and they have fun on there. It just, that's common sense. Now, what Hypixel has been saying about this is, oh, well, don't worry, this is all temporary. What we're going to do is we're going to get a lobby for all these classic games, and we're going to throw them all into this one lobby. And it's going to be great, because then what you're going to have is you're going to have players, they're all going to be playing on the classic games. So, you'll have a player play around the vampires, and then they'll go play around a paintball. Guess what? That's not going to work. And you know why? The reason why this isn't going to work is because the vampires and paintball are two completely different things. Okay? If I join this, classic games lobby, I'm not going to go play a bunch of different rounds of these completely different games. You don't throw completely different games into the same lobby. Some of you might be like, oh, well, what about the arcade games? Those are all completely different. Really, no, they're not. They're practically the same, just, different things to do. You throw similar games in the same spot, and you take different games and you separate them. And so that's why I don't think that's going to work, because you're not going to have players play a round of vampires and then play a round of paintball. It's just, you're going to have just even more division now. And so another great argument that I've heard against this is that they're just throwing these games that maybe haven't been that well updated, just throwing them into that, rather than actually fixing them. You don't fix a problem by just setting it aside. You fix a problem by actually working out and fixing it. And so, like paintball, for example, that game could totally get fixed up. Maybe if it was a bit more balanced, maybe that'd keep players from rage quitting on it. That I know for a fact that if paintball was a lot more balanced, I would play much more time on it. Instead, it's kind of like, play a couple of rounds of paintball, oh my gosh, this is so unbalanced, I'm gonna go play something else, That's sort of like the different opinions. I understand games like Turbo Kart Racers, I don't know, those games like that, I can understand why they're put into the classic games. You can play them once or twice just to, have some fun on there. And then after that, it's practically done. But yeah, that's basically what's been going on, a little bit of backlash over this. I'm honestly curious to see how this will turn out, whether or not their little plan will work. My opinion on it is, well, I guess the compass change is fine. I really don't mind that. I'm just concerned about some of these good games dying off. Vampires, that's not a game that you see on other other Minecraft servers. It's a Hypixel original, Turbo Kart Racers, you don't really see that on other Minecraft servers. That's a Hypixel original. Paintball, I don't really recall seeing that anywhere else. Again, a Hypixel original, and they've just kind of thrown them all into the side, and I just hope those games don't die off, because I have a lot of fun playing on those occasionally. And I do like how they put Skywars in the top left, the first little slot in there. That's smart. Skywars is your most popular game. You might as well put it where it deserves to be. And so I think there's a lot of good changes to this, and there's a lot of things that should be concerned about. So that's going to do it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Make sure you leave a like on the video if you did enjoy. And hopefully this explains some things, both sides of the story fairly, I guess. And we'll see how this turns out in the next couple of weeks, and hopefully we can see the full picture soon on what this is. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys subscribe to help support the channel. I will see you all in my next video. See you guys.